Section 1. What in the world are taxes anyway? Understanding the basics. All right, folks, let's talk about something that makes a lot of people groan: taxes. But listen up, understanding taxes is a cornerstone of getting your financial life in order. It's not some scary monster hiding under the bed, I promise you. Taxes are simply money that we, as citizens, pay to our government. This isn't a new idea. It's been around for ages in one form or another. The government, whether it's federal, state, or local, uses this money to pay for all the public services that we often take for granted. Think about it for a minute. These services are things like building and fixing our roads so you can drive to work. They pay for schools where our kids get an education. They fund our military to keep our country safe. Police officers and firefighters who protect our communities, their salaries are paid by tax money. Parks where your family can have a picnic, libraries where you can borrow books, these are all supported by the taxes we contribute. It's about pooling our resources together to make our communities and our country work better for everyone, a shared responsibility. Now, some folks complain about taxes, and I get it. Nobody enjoys parting with their hard-earned cash, but it's important to see the bigger picture here. Without taxes, we wouldn't have a functioning society as we know it. Imagine roads full of potholes that never get fixed, or no public schools for children. It would be chaos, plain and simple. So, while you work hard for your money, a portion of it goes back to ensure that the systems supporting you and your family are in place and working. It's a civic duty, a part of being a responsible adult. So, the role of taxes is pretty straightforward. They are the financial engine that powers public services. It's not just about the government taking your money, it's about investing in the collective well-being. When you understand this basic concept, taxes become less of a burden and more of a responsibility you can manage. And managing your money, including what you owe in taxes, is key to winning with your finances. We're going to break it all down so you can handle this part of your life with confidence. No sweat. Section 2. The main buckets: income tax explained simply. Now, let's dive into one of the biggest types of taxes you'll encounter. Income tax. This is a tax on the money you earn. It doesn't matter if you get a paycheck from an employer or if you're self-employed and run your own business. A portion of that income is owed to the government. The federal government collects income tax, and most states do too, though a few lucky ones don't. This tax is a primary source of funding for the federal government, paying for national defense, Social Security, and Medicare, among other things. How much income tax you pay usually depends on how much you earn. This is often called a progressive tax system. That means people who earn more money typically pay a higher percentage of their income in taxes. There are different tax brackets, and as your income goes up, you might move into a higher bracket for the portion of your income that falls within that new range. It's not like your entire income is suddenly taxed at that higher rate, just the part that exceeds the previous bracket's limit. It's designed this way to be fairer, in theory. If you work for someone else, you'll usually see income tax taken out of your paycheck automatically. This is called withholding. Your employer estimates how much tax you'll owe based on the information you provide on a W-4 form when you start your job. Then, they send that money directly to the government on your behalf throughout the year. This makes it easier than having to save up a giant lump sum to pay all at once. For those who are self-employed, you'll likely need to pay estimated taxes quarterly, so plan for that. Understanding income tax is crucial because it's usually the largest tax bill most folks will face. Knowing how it works helps you plan your finances better. You can make informed decisions about your income, your job, and even your investments. When you know the rules of the game, you can play it smarter. And trust me, being smart about your income tax is a big step towards financial peace. Section 3. Everyday taxes, sales tax, and your property dues. Beyond income tax, there are other taxes you pay, sometimes without even thinking much about them. Let's talk about sales tax first. This is a tax on goods and services you buy. When you go to the store and buy a new shirt or eat out at a restaurant, you'll often see an extra percentage added to your bill. That's sales tax. It's collected by the seller at the point of purchase and then sent to the state and sometimes local government. Not every state has a sales tax, and the rates can vary a lot from one place to another. Sales tax is a consumption tax. This means you pay it when you spend money on certain items. Some things, like groceries or prescription drugs, might be exempt from sales tax in certain states, which is good news for your budget. The money collected from sales tax typically goes towards funding state and local government services. This could include things like local road repairs, public transportation, or funding for county services. It's a way for states to generate revenue based on economic activity within their borders. So every time you shop, you might be contributing. Next up is property tax. If you own a home or other real estate like land, you'll almost certainly have to pay property tax. This tax is based on the assessed value of your property. The local government, like your city or county, determines how much your property is worth and then applies a tax rate to that value. Property tax bills are usually sent out once or twice a year. For many homeowners, property taxes are rolled into their monthly mortgage payment through an escrow account, which can make it easier to manage. Property taxes are a major source of funding for local governments. They pay for things that directly impact your neighborhood, like public schools, local police and fire departments, libraries, and parks. So when you pay your property tax, you're investing right back into your own community. While nobody likes a big bill, it's important to understand where that money is going. Knowing about these different types of taxes helps you see the full picture of your financial obligations and how you contribute to the society you live in. Section 4. Time to pay up. How you actually file your taxes. Alright, so you know what taxes are and the different kinds. Now, how do you actually pay what you owe, especially when it comes to income tax? This is where tax filing comes in. Once a year, usually by April 15th, most people in the United States need to file a tax return with the Internal Revenue Service, or IRS. If you live in a state with income tax, you'll likely need to file a state tax return too. This return is basically a report of your income, your expenses, and other important tax information. The main purpose of filing a tax return is to figure out if you've paid the right amount of income tax throughout the year. If you had too much tax withheld from your paychecks, you'll get a refund. That sounds nice, but a big refund just means you gave the government an interest-free loan with your money all year. It's better to adjust your withholdings so you keep more of your money in each paycheck. If you didn't pay enough tax during the year, perhaps because you're self-employed or had other income, you'll owe money to the IRS. To file your taxes, you'll need to gather all your relevant financial documents. This includes things like your W-2 form from your employer, which shows your wages and the taxes already withheld. If you have other income, like from investments or a side hustle, you'll need 1099 forms for that. You'll also need records of any deductions or credits you plan to claim, which we'll talk more about later. Once you have all your paperwork, you can fill out the tax forms. The most common federal form is Form 1040. You have a few options for filing. You can do it yourself using tax software, which can guide you through the process step by step. Many of these programs are very user-friendly. Another option is to hire a tax professional, like a certified public accountant, CPA, or an enrolled agent. This can be a good idea if your tax situation is complicated, or if you just want the peace of mind that it's done right. The key is to choose the method that works best for you and ensures accuracy. Section 5. Don't drag your feet. Why filing taxes on time is a big deal. Listen closely, folks, because this is important. Filing your taxes on time is not just a suggestion, it's a requirement. The deadline for filing your federal income tax return is typically April 15th each year. If that date falls on a weekend or a holiday, the deadline usually shifts to the next business day. Missing this deadline can lead to some unpleasant consequences, and we want to avoid those like the plague. It's all about being responsible with your obligations. So, what happens if you file late? Well, the IRS can hit you with penalties and interest. There's a penalty for filing late, and there's also a penalty for paying late if you owe money. These penalties can add up quickly, meaning you'll end up paying even more than you originally owed. And interest will continue to accrue on the unpaid amount until it's settled. This is just throwing good money after bad, and it's completely avoidable if you plan ahead and meet the deadline. It's a needless financial stressor. Now, what if you genuinely can't file your taxes by the deadline? Maybe you're waiting for a tax document, or you have a complex situation. The IRS understands that sometimes life happens. In this case, you can request an extension to file. You can do this by filling out Form 4868. This will typically give you an automatic 6-month extension, pushing your filing deadline to October 15th. This gives you more time to get your paperwork together and file accurately. But here's the critical part about an extension. An extension to file is not an extension to pay. I repeat, it is not an extension to pay. If you think you're going to owe taxes, you still need to estimate how much you owe and pay that amount by the original April 15th deadline. If you don't, you could still face penalties and interest on the unpaid amount, even if you got an extension to file your return. So, always aim to file and pay on time. It's a simple discipline that saves you headaches and money. Section 6. Smart moves. Using deductions and credits to your advantage. Okay, now for some good news. While paying taxes is a must, there are ways to legally reduce the amount of income tax you owe. These are called tax deductions and tax credits. Understanding these can save you a good chunk of money, so pay attention. They are perfectly legitimate ways the government allows you to lower your tax bill, often to encourage certain behaviors like saving for retirement or owning a home. Think of them as rewards for making smart financial choices. First, let's talk about tax deductions. A deduction reduces your taxable income. So if you have $50,000 in income and you claim $5,000 in deductions, you'll only be taxed on $45,000. There are two main types of deductions: the standard deduction and itemized deductions. The standard deduction is a fixed dollar amount that you can subtract from your income if you don't itemize. The amount depends on your filing status, like single, married filing jointly, etc. Most people take the standard deduction because it's simpler. Itemized deductions are specific expenses that you can subtract. These might include things like mortgage interest, state and local taxes, up to a limit, charitable contributions, and significant medical expenses. You'd choose to itemize if your total itemized deductions are greater than the standard deduction amount for your filing status. It requires more record keeping, but it can be worth it if it saves you more money. Keep receipts and records for anything you plan to itemize. This is where being organized really pays off. Tax credits are even better than deductions. While a deduction reduces your taxable income, a tax credit directly reduces the amount of tax you owe, dollar for dollar. For example, a $1,000 tax credit cuts your tax bill by $1,000. That's real money back in your pocket. Common tax credits include the child tax credit, the earned income tax credit for lower to moderate income individuals and families, and education credits. Researching which deductions and credits you qualify for can make a big difference in your final tax bill. Section 7. Building your future: how taxes fit into your financial plan. Understanding taxes isn't just about filing a return once a year. No, sir. It's a critical piece of your overall financial plan all year round. If you're serious about building wealth, getting out of debt, and achieving financial peace, you need to consider how taxes impact every financial decision you make. From how you save for retirement to how you invest, and even major purchases like a home, taxes play a role. Ignoring them is like trying to bake a cake without knowing all the ingredients. Think about retirement savings, for instance. Contributing to tax-advantaged retirement accounts like a 401k or a traditional IRA can lower your taxable income now. That means you pay less tax today. The money then grows tax-deferred, meaning you don't pay taxes on the earnings until you withdraw it in retirement. Roth 401(k)s and Roth IRAs work differently. You pay taxes on the money before you contribute, but then your qualified withdrawals in retirement are completely tax-free. Understanding these tax implications helps you choose the best retirement strategy for your situation. When it comes to investing, taxes are also a big factor. If you sell investments like stocks or mutual funds for a profit in a regular brokerage account, you'll likely owe capital gains tax. The tax rate can depend on how long you held the investment. Short-term capital gains, for assets held less than a year, are typically taxed at your ordinary income tax rate, while long-term capital gains, for assets held more than a year, usually have lower tax rates. Knowing this can influence your investment decisions and how long you hold on to assets. Even decisions like whether to buy a home or where to live can have tax consequences. Homeowners can often deduct mortgage interest and property taxes, which can make homeownership more financially attractive from a tax perspective. And as we mentioned, some states have no income tax, while others have very high income or property taxes. These differences can significantly impact your overall financial picture and how much money you get to keep. So, being tax-aware in your financial planning is just plain smart. It helps you make better choices for your future. Section 8. Conquer the clutter, keeping your tax papers in order. All right, we've covered a lot about what taxes are and how they work, but none of that knowledge will do you much good if you can't find your paperwork when tax time rolls around. Getting organized with your tax-related documents is absolutely essential. It will save you a ton of stress, time, and potentially money. Trying to dig through a year's worth of receipts and statements at the last minute is a recipe for disaster, and you'll likely miss out on valuable deductions or credits. So, what's the secret? It's simple. Create a system and stick to it. You don't need anything fancy. A dedicated folder, a small filing cabinet, or even a clearly labeled box will do the trick. Throughout the year, as you receive important documents, file them away immediately. This includes your W-2s, 1099 forms for other income, like interest, dividends, or freelance work, and statements for things like mortgage interest, Form 1098, or student loan interest, Form 1098E. Don't just toss them on the counter. Keep records of anything you might want to deduct or claim as a credit. If you make charitable contributions, keep the receipts or acknowledgement letters. If you have significant medical expenses, keep those bills and payment records. For business expenses, if you're self-employed, meticulous record keeping is non-negotiable. Use a spreadsheet, accounting software, or even just a notebook to track income and expenses. The better your records, the easier it will be to accurately prepare your return and support your claims if the IRS ever has questions. And how long should you keep these documents? The general rule from the IRS is to keep copies of your tax returns and supporting documents for at least 3 years from the date you filed the return or the due date of the return, whichever is later. In some cases, like if you underreport income or file a fraudulent return, the IRS can go back further, so some people choose to keep records for 7 years or even longer, just to be safe. Storing them digitally by scanning them can also be a great space-saving and secure option. Section 9. Tax savvy is money savvy, your path to financial peace. We've walked through the A to Z of tax basics, folks, from understanding what taxes are and why they're important, to the different types you'll pay, how to file, and the benefits of deductions and credits. We've also touched on how taxes weave into your bigger financial picture and the importance of keeping those papers in line. It might seem like a lot, but taking control of your taxes is a huge step toward taking control of your entire financial life. It's about being proactive, not reactive. Being tax savvy isn't about being a tax expert overnight. It's about understanding the fundamentals so you can make informed decisions. It means you're not scared or confused when tax season comes around. Instead, you're prepared. You know what to expect, what information you need, and where to find help if you need it. This knowledge empowers you. It allows you to legally minimize your tax burden and keep more of your hard-earned money working for you, your family, and your goals. That's just common sense. Remember, the government provides ways for you to reduce your taxes through things like retirement contributions, health savings accounts, and various credits. Taking advantage of these isn't cheating the system, it's using the system as it was designed. But you can only do that if you know they exist and how they work. This is why financial literacy, including tax literacy, is so incredibly important. It's a skill that will serve you well throughout your entire life, helping you build wealth and achieve your dreams. So, don't let taxes intimidate you. Educate yourself. Stay organized. Plan ahead. If your situation is complex, don't be afraid to seek help from a qualified tax professional. They can be worth their weight in gold. By understanding and managing your taxes effectively, you're not just fulfilling an obligation. You're actively participating in your own financial well-being and building a stronger foundation for your future. And that, my friends, is a key ingredient for achieving true financial peace. Now go out there and take control.